U.S. Secretary of State to Polish Foreign Minister in Ukraine. Starlink spat. Say thank you. But we're gonna get to that later. Let's start from the basics. Elon Musk backs down from X fight after belittling Polish foreign minister. So basically, what happened is that Elon Musk, for some time now, has been floating around the idea that if uh, Zelensky does not sign the mineral deal with the United States of America, he will cut off Ukraine's access to Starlink, which would hamper its ability to have things like to be able to pinpoint the localizations of enemy troops, to be able to have communication that's not easy to interfere with, to be able to guide drones. As far as I understand, Starlink is a very big help when it comes to um, visual feedback that is provided from the drone to the drone operator, be able to operate it better. That's something that a good internet is necessary for, and Starlink has pretty good bandwidth for what it provides via the satellite, and you can use it anywhere. You can just, as long as you have the dish and you point it to the sky, you have internet with an acceptable speed that allows you uh, to do precision drone maneuvering and other things, and play video games in the dugouts. So that's a thing. Elon Musk has started threatening Ukraine with cutting off Starlink. And then Poland sort of stepped in and said, we can't imagine you would just terminate a deal with us as a country, with Poland, because we buy and buy the subscription, buy the equipment and the subscription for the Starlinks, and we provide it to Ukraine. So we cannot imagine that you will just terminate your deal with us just to get to Ukraine, right? And then the threatening continued, and Musk said some silly things like, if it wasn't for my Starlink, the Ukrainian army would just collapse. It's all thanks to me. They're in by mercy. It's a very constant sort of pattern within the Trump administration, saying, you're at my mercy. You should say thank you. And you should apologize also for your transgressions. And then Sikorski, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, stepped in again and said that if Elon Musk is going to choose to cut off, to act like that, then um, the US, because it's basically an extension of the US at this point, is proving itself. And well, let's just focus on Elon Musk for now. That the SpaceX is proving itself to be an unreliable provider, and that Europe, Poland, Ukraine will just have to look for an alternative. Okay? And then Elon Musk responded to Sikorski, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland, with something along the lines of, "Be quiet, small man. You're not. Your Poland is playing a small fraction of the cost, and also there is no alternative to Starlink." That was basically the bottom line. And then Elon Musk, after this spat, it's hard to say if there is a correlation equals causation thing, but after it happened, Elon Musk backed down from his claims, from his threats, by saying that he will never cut off Starlink, as written here. Elon Musk has struck a rare conciliatory note, saying he would never cut off Ukraine from crucial Starlink support, de-escalating a row with the Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski that also involved U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, as we will see later somewhere around here. Say thank you. Hello, Piper the Pepper. So glad to see you streaming again, Lucy. I had checked like last month and you hadn't streamed in a long while. I've been streaming on YouTube for most of the time, but yes, I'm back on Twitch now as well. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad to see um, viewers return. It is nice to see viewers return to Twitch. I'm trying to build a Twitch audience as well. Well, I'm also trying to build a YouTube audience, but that's neither here nor there. Thank you for being here. So that's the thing, okay? To be extremely clear, no matter how much I disagree with the Ukraine policy, Starlink will never turn off its terminals, Musk said in the expose, which again, it's a backpedal from what he has been saying earlier. Earlier, he has been threatening turning off the terminals if Ukraine does not sign the deal. Starlink is a satellite internet constellation operated by SpaceX and owned by Musk. It provides satellite internet access coverage to most of the Earth. The Extra is the latest episode of tension between the US and Europe over the war in Ukraine. Hello, Bisky. You're new to this stream? Hello. I came because I saw Elon's face. Yes. We're discussing a little bit of a spat between Elon Musk and the Polish foreign minister, um, Sikorski, Radosław Sikorski. Do you like Elon? No. I really don't like Elon Musk. No. I really don't like how he basically, well, how should I say it, blackmailed Ukraine into signing, or rather tried to blackmail. I highly dislike him, yeah. Do you like him? And if so, why do you like him? I think it will become clear why I don't like him from this article. I'm curious what exactly the minister said then. Like they must either be really good at negotiating or said something that forced Musk to backpedal. There was a huge backlash. There was just a very big backlash after he insulted the Polish foreign minister. A lot of people gave him a lot of backlash. I think that's why. Because Elon Musk has a fragile ego and he wants to be adored. That is a factor. But other than that, I'm not sure what happened to make him backpedal. Starlink is a satellite. The X-Rose, the latest episode. The billionaire founder of SpaceX triggered the argument earlier on Sunday with an ex post in which he speculated about turning off Ukraine's access to the company's Starlink system. He wrote, "My Starlink system is the backbone of the Ukrainian army," which is not true, okay? That is an ego trip that I'm just not willing to accept. Their entire front line would collapse if I turned it off. Ridiculous. Thank you for using the Prime. Yes, if you have Primes, then please spare me a Prime, okay? Spare me a Primer. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am really grateful. But yes, I think it's an ego trip. I think it's an ego trip that Trump has. I think it's an ego trip that similarly Elon Musk has. It's the backbone of the Ukrainian army. Their entire front line would collapse if I turned it off. US negotiators pressing Kyiv for access to Ukraine's critical minerals have raised the possibility of cutting the country's access to the service. Reuters reported in February. Wait, is the stream scuffed? What happened? Why is the stream scuffed? What's happening to the stream? The overlay is hard in the article. Let me see. Let me correct it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's my fault. Somebody should have said something earlier, but whatever. It's no big deal. No big deal. There we go. I thought you knew and didn't want to be rude. No. It wasn't. If you see something weird, always point it out. Be rude. I deserve to be. Which Total War were you playing? Okay, let's continue the article. U.S. negotiators pressing Kyiv for access to Ukraine's critical minerals have raised the possibility of cutting the country's access to the service. Reuters reported in February. Oh, okay. The Trump administration paused military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine following the notorious White House clash with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on February 28th. That's actually not completely true. The Trump administration has paused intelligence sharing before the notorious White House clash, and the Trump administration was already decided to cut military aid before the notorious White House clash. This is important to remember. The intelligence sharing was already being cut before the notorious White House debacle. Okay? That was already in the works. And the notorious White House clash with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on February 28th. So it happened on my birthday. The most horrible interaction between Trump, Zelensky, and JD Vance happened on my birthday. What a birthday, huh? Poland's Sikorski fired back, saying, "If SpaceX proves to be an unreliable provider, we, Poland, will be forced to look for other suppliers." The foreign minister added that Poland pays $50 million annually for Ukraine's Starlink access, which, yes, Poland actually buys a whole lot of Starlinks for Ukraine, pays for a whole lot of Starlinks for Ukraine, because, Poland is an actual ally. The post has provoked the ire of Musk and Rubio, who accused Sikorski of making things up and told him to say thank you because without Starlink, Ukraine would have lost this war long ago and Russians would be on the border with Poland right now. There you go. This is a common thing. They say to Zelensky, have you ever said thank you? And now they said to Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs, you should be saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Starlink. Thank you, Elon Musk. Thank you, thank you. Please accept our money. Thank you. This is so ridiculous. This is how these people see us. And by us, I mean Eastern Europeans, Slavs. This is basically how we're seen. Say thank you. Say thank you for being able to live still because you are at our mercy. If it were not for us, you'd be screwed over. So you better say thank you. That is basically the mentality behind the sentiment. That is absolutely how they view people like me. No one has made any threats about cutting Ukraine off from Starlink, Rubio wrote. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. Such threats were being made several times, actually. They don't want allies, they want vassals. Yeah, absolutely, yes. They want vassals. They want to make vassals out of other countries, but the Trump administration actually also wants to create vassals within the country. The businesses that operate within the US are supposed to be such vassals. The politicians are supposed to be such vassals. The very administrations is supposed to be comprised of such vassals, which is the sole purpose of Dodge existing, to create this vassal system within the government itself. Just saying. Sikorski responded by saying, thank you, Marco, for confirming that the brave soldiers of Ukraine can count on the vital internet service provided jointly by the US and Poland. He added, together, Europe and the United States can help Ukraine to achieve a just peace. See, Sikorski is a diplomat. He's a born diplomat. Like, there's a reason why he is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And he also was the Minister of Foreign Affairs during the Euromaidan. He negotiated with Yanukovych the entire night and he made him agree to a deal earlier elections. And he also persuaded the protesters to agree to that deal. Unthinkable. Musk, who applauded Rubio for his post, writing that the secretary is absolutely correct, offered a more scathing critique of the Polish diplomat. Be quiet, small man, he wrote, adding, you pay a tiny fraction of the cost, and there's no substitute for Starlink. This is what happens when those people just believe that they can do whatever they want. Trump, Elon Musk. Elon Musk especially believes himself to be above everybody else because of his billionaire status. I'm rich, so therefore I am above everybody else. It's true. Be quiet, small man. Yaroslav Trofimov, the chief foreign affairs correspondent of the Wall Street Journal, took to X to describe the war of words as another extraordinary moment in diplomacy. I know, like this would be normally this should be unthinkable, but we live in the Trump era now, when nobody cares about anything and international diplomatic relations don't mean much. Europe's technological decoupling from the US, unthinkable weeks ago, is becoming a national security priority, he wrote. And there's also the fact that, I don't know, it's a weird way to conduct diplomacy when you just ignore all your, like, not even ignore, insult all of your allies. Where you insult all of your allies, call them little people, and disregard them when they raise valid concerns, where they raise valid points. The claim that Starlink is the only company that can provide Ukraine with the satellite support it requires is disputed. Shares in Franco-British satellite operator Eutelsat ET ETLPA, one of the companies that could potentially replace SpaceX, soared as much as 650% during the week ending March 7th, ending up around 380% on Friday. Whoops. I guess the competition got a little bit of a boost because Elon Musk, at the end of the day, is an idiot, is an arrogant idiot. And now we go to Rubio. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has accused Poland's foreign minister of making things up and asked him to be thankful in social media spat over Starlink support for Ukraine. No one has made any threats about cutting Ukraine off from Starlink, Rubio wrote. That's a lie. Again, I will repeat this. That's a lie. Replying to a post from Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski, earlier on Sunday, Sikorski wrote on X that Poland, which pays for Ukraine's Starlink services, may seek an alternative business partner if Elon Musk's company proves to be unreliable. Sikorski was responding to Musk's own X post, in which he speculated about turning off Ukraine's access to the crucial satellite system. Starlink provides crucial internet connectivity to Ukraine. Okay, I don't have to read this verbatim. Rubio's post further distances the current US administration's assessment of Russia's war in Ukraine from the European politicians. So basically, Elon Musk is in lockstep with Trump's administration's policy, which is pressuring Ukraine and giving Russia everything that it wants. Let's just not, okay, let's not mince words here. We don't have to we don't have to be diplomatic on this stream. Let's just say the Secretary of State wrote in the post addressed to Sikorski and say thank you because without Starlink, Ukraine would have lost this war long ago, and Russians would be on the border with Poland right now. There you go. The whole be thankful, please say thank you, now extended to Poland as well. Have you ever said thank you, Poland? Have you ever said thank you once? Musk responded to Rubio's post, writing, "What Secretary Rubio says is absolutely correct." Of course, it's just what a circle jerk. The US government has already revoked some access to satellite imagery for Ukraine and paused intelligence sharing, piling pressure on Kyiv as Trump seeks a swift end to the war. Now, in its fourth year after Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Remember when Trump said he would end this conflict in 24 hours before even taking office? I remember that. That was a promise that he made, a campaign promise. Starlinks for Ukraine are paid for by the Polish digitization ministry at the cost of about $50 million per year. Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski wrote on X, "The ethics of threatening the victim of aggression apart, if SpaceX proves to be an unreliable provider, we will be forced to look for other suppliers." That's the whole controversial statement that Sikorski dared to say. Okay? Because they've been floating around the idea of just cutting off Starlink for a while now. Starlink's parent company SpaceX did not immediately reply to an emailed request for comment outside regular business hours. Shares in Franco-British satellite, blah blah blah, 6,500%. I think that's why he said we would never cut off Starlink, because I really think that Musk simply saw that people were actually considering the competition now. Like, okay, this service is clearly unreliable. If the owner can just cut it off on a whim without any real justification, I guess we'll just go to a more stable competitor, which is why shares in Franco-British satellite operator Eutelsat ETL PA soared as much as 650% during the week ending March 7, due to speculation the company could replace Starlink in providing internet access to Ukraine. That is what happens when you double, triple, quadruple down on being unreliable. People do seek alternatives, and those alternatives profit. But I guess Elon Musk is a genius businessman. The shares pulled back on Friday to end the week up around 380%, which is still quite a lot. Wouldn't we agree? Can we agree that 380% of shares value is quite a lot? So I guess Eutelsat ETL.pa should be very thankful to Elon Musk for this whole debacle. I think that worked out very well for that particular company. I think they should be saying thank you to Elon Musk, frankly, and to Rubio. If anybody should be saying thank you, it's Elon Musk's competition because they're having a field day. But yeah, I'm sorry. The West is proving to itself to be not a reliable ally, if an ally at all at this point. I think it's fair to say that the U.S. is closer to being a Russian ally than a Ukraine ally, and Elon Musk is just a stooge for Donald Trump. So it's no wonder that he is in lockstep with trying to pressure Ukraine to capitulate, basically, to capitulate to Russia without any security guarantees, to be neutral, no NATO, no nothing. Oh yeah, and give up territory. I forgot that Ukraine has to give up territory, and now the rhetoric on the Trump's administration side has shifted from going back to 2014 borders is realistic to going back to 2022 borders is unrealistic. So, just so you know, this is now the new rhetoric. It's not just it's impossible to go back to 2014. No, 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 no. Now it's impossible to go back to 2022. That is a very sad state of affairs. And once again, I will say I'm glad that Poland stepped up in this case and Europe must do it more. Because, as Trump said, Ukraine has no cards. And that is not exactly true, as we've witnessed. Elon Musk has been threatening Ukraine with cutting off Starlink because, as he perceives, Ukraine has no cards. Poland has stepped in, proven that yes, Ukraine has cards. Poland is one of Ukraine's cards. Poland is paying for Starlink if you don't provide service, if you don't provide your services in a way that's reliable, we're just going to have to look for alternatives. And then Elon Musk mocked it, and the share value of the alternative of the competition soared. So that is definitely having cards. That is definitely giving Ukraine cards. And Europe should be doing that more. Europe should be stepping in more and saying, no, 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 hold it. Ukraine is not alone in this. Europe is supporting Ukraine in this war. So you cannot just bully Ukraine into doing whatever. You cannot just push Ukraine around and force it into a bad peace, force it into a horrible minerals deal, and do whatever you want with it. Ukraine's a part of Europe, and the European Union is well united. So that is all that I have to say about that, I guess. Poland has proven that Ukraine has more cards than Trump and his administration believe it has. I think it's a clear signal to that effect. Okay?